No, I haven't.
No? It's like an HBO.
Oh. Hi, my name is Diadem. I am a designer. Sorry. Oh,
You're good.
But what do you think about also for a new brand, for many of the designers who are just starting to sell the market, having an opening price point?
Right.
The opening price point of an item.
Absolutely.
So even though you want to be 300 to 1500, like what is?
That's such a good question. So here's the thing. I just saw this story. It's the opposite version of what I told you about the kayaks. And I hadn't thought about this until I heard it come across my phone screen. And it makes sense that there's a restaurant that was going through a change, and they put, so their pricing was high. And for a steak, it was $35, $40, or the sandwich was $25, $30. Like so I guess a steak would be $60 and it's expensive, but it's not maybe that expensive at $35. But you get the point. Their pricing was high for what that was their strategic challenge, is that they weren't getting pull through because people perceived their pricing to be off, misaligned. So what they did was they put a sandwich for $75 or $100, something crazy on the menu, and they knew they would never sell it. But they knew that when people looked at the menu,
Yeah.
immediately everything else would look more
More
reasonable.
appealing.
And I think that we do that, and I didn't do it intentionally, but I think you should. When we sold at Barney's, when we launched at Barney's, of course, sadly they're out of business, but the first order that they placed was for, we had a bag at that point that was for $800, $900, just under $900. That was our lowest price point. And we encouraged them to just add a few in at the higher price point. First, people bought up the lower price point because it was new and they hadn't seen it before, and so there was an excitement, like a candy store level of excitement to the first batch. But when they came back around to reorder, there were a little bit more of the higher priced. And what ended up happening over time, once the relationship was settled, is that 90% of everything we sold was in the mid to high part of the range. And we did some really custom stuff that sold $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, and they would sell those too. But for us, the highest price that we have off the shelf is $6,000. So and I think this is what you're getting at, and I'm taking a long way. I'm being scripted and getting to the point, but the point is that psychologically, people will look at your low price, and then they will see that you have these other options at higher prices. And you're like, they say to themselves, well, I'm that person.
Right.
I'm the fancier color. I'm the pearl. I like gold. That's me. I'm not that person. Let someone else go get that one. And they walk themselves up your price ladder with options and benefits.
Right.
And then they know that for most people, for 90% of people, they're going to walk up, and then they're going to also see that you're up at 6,000 or 10,000 or whatever your high price point is. I don't need to be that guy
Yeah, I don't need
or
to be
that
there.
person,
I don't want to be
but
somebody
I love this price. And so you're creating a band within which they're really comfortable with what you're selling.
Right.
So you did have, what did you call it? Entry price?
Like an opening price
Opening
point.
price.
Yeah.
Opening price
How
point.
long does that last?
You keep it
You
forever.
always have
It's a
it.
You always
relative.
have
Whether it's like
because
500
because it's
or.
still
You won't sell it. You might sell it to you're going to sell it to that guy who says your prices are too high.
right.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be able to say they got even if it's not as customized or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if those are the ones that you like, I'm able to get these mass produced, right? But they still got my name in it.
Yeah.
And then if you sold them at 400 or whatever, they'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I got a J Workman, you know?
Yeah.
But then you'll be like, oh, but look at this one. Oh, we do that with clothes every day, don't we?
Do this. This is an exercise. Go to your favorite car brand and build a car on their website.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've done that.
I did
yeah.
that with my Mini.
And then what I want you to do
Uh-huh.
is apply that ladder of options back to your business. And think about what the base model is, what the next level, and as many levels up as you want to go until you get
Like
to a
build a
premium version.
Yeah.
And then you level it out. If you have 5 levels or 4 levels or 10 levels, you have to
I
figure out your
love
levels.
that idea.
Yeah.
That's
And it's
great.
features
Even
and options that you're
Priscilla
going to walk people up.
and like all of you that are making,
Yeah.
I
I
love
couldn't
that.
even afford the car I was trying to build. I kept going at enterprise.
It's a
But the Mini that I built was like amazing. I was like, ooh, I don't want this and I want that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, well, this a Mini Cooper cost $80,000.
Exactly. Done that. Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your perspective on how the storytelling aspect kind of ties into all of this. I really resonated with your story at the beginning, and
Yeah. It's central. Because people ultimately buy from you. As much as we want to think that we're able to automate our business, and not in this room, I don't think we're going to be guilty of that, but people buy from people.
Yeah.
And if they know you and like you,
yeah,
or can relate to you, they will buy from you.
I
So-
feel like that's a golden question. Like, how do you
How do you
It's
find
a-
them? How do they
that
find
to
you?
come-
I went to the University of Delaware studying fashion design and innovation. I'm the founder of Diadems. We make bags and hair accessories out of African prints. And I joined the Philadelphia Fashion Incubator to hone on my brand and to expand more and to connect more with my customers.